Good day, everyone. I am Izel Ariasi from BSFI1, and today I will be your representative to discuss about classical movement and techniques. Naturalism proponents, Caravaggio, flourishing context, Renaissance and Baroque periods, and 16th to 17th centuries, later revived in the 19th century, centered in Italy and later in France, and belief and practice. Art should depict life. It is accurate and idealized representation focused on lightning anatomy, gritty realism, and everyday subjects. Artistic interpretation, Caravaggio's recalling of Saint Matthew, dramatic chiaroscuro, and lifelike figures show naturalism emphasis on real bodies, real gestures, and realistic life. Humanism proponent Michelangelo, flourishing context, Renaissance from the 14th to 17th century, belief and practice. Humanism emphasized education, emphasizing knowledge, exploring individual potential, and committing to civic responsibility and moral duty. Artistic interpretation. Raphael's to the School of Athens embodies humanism by depicting a gathering of great philosophers and scientists from classical antiquity, celebrating human intellect and knowledge. Fresco painting. Proponents Giotto. Flourishing context. Renaissance Italy. Belief and practice. Pigments applied to wet plaster. Favored for large narrative cycles in chapel and public buildings. Artistic interpretation. Giotto's limitation, soft modeling, emotional clarity, and seamless integration into architectural walls show the power of fresco storytelling. Tempera painting proponents Sandro Botticelli. Flourishing context. Used extensively before oil paint, medieval period through early Renaissance, common in Italy for altarpiece and religious iconography. Belief and practice. Egg temperature produce quick drying, smooth, precise detail, symbolic color, fine lines, and luminous surface. Artistic interpretation. Botticelli, The Birth of Venus. Clean lines and refined surface demonstrate tempera ability to create ethereal crisp figure. Oil painting proponents. Jan van Eyck, flourishing context. Northern Europe in the 15th century, later spread through Europe, enabled by technological innovation in blending pigments with drying oils. Belief and practice. Rich color, subtle shading, slow drying allowed for glazing, and detail became the dominant medium from realism and expressive work. Artistic interpretation. Van Eyck, layered glazes and reflective surface show oil to capture texture, light, and special detail. Impressionism proponents Claude Monet. Flourishing context. France, 1870s and 1880s. Belief and practice. Capture fleeting moments, atmosphere, and light. Loose brushwork outdoor painting. Bring colors. Artistic interpretation. Monet's Impression sunrise. Visible brush strokes and shifting light embody the movement's focus on perception over detail. Post-Impressionism proponents Vincent van Gogh. Flourishing context France 1880s and 90s. Belief and practice. Emphasis on personal expression, symbolic color, geometric structure, or pointillism depending on the artist. Artistic interpretation Van Gogh's Starry Night, swirling brush strokes and expressive colors show the shift toward emotion and psychological intensity. Cubism proponents Pablo Picasso. Flourishing context Paris in 1907 to 1914. Belief and practice. Multiple viewpoints shown simultaneously. Fragments, plants, geometric forms, mute palette. Artistic interpretation. Picasso's disjoints form and angular face challenge traditional perspective and representation. Expressionism proponents Edvard. Flourishing context Germany and Northern Europe. Belief and practice. Art express internal emotion, not external reality. Destroyed forms, bold color, intense depth. Artistic interpretation Munch the stream, dramatic swirling forms, and star color externalize psychological anguish. Dadaism proponents Marcel, Zurich, New York, Berlin during WWI. Response to the absurdity of war, rejection of traditional logic and aesthetics. Belief and practice. Embrace chance, nonsense, anti-art, ready-made collage, performance event. Artistic interpretational Daksha Fountains exemplifies Dadaism, rejection of traditional art values and its embrace of the absurd. Surrealism proponents Salvador. Belief and practice. Explore dreams, automatic drawing, irrational image. Artistic interpretation Dali, The Persistence of Memory, 1931. Melting clocks and barren landscape evoke dreamlike distortion of time and reality. Pop art proponents Andy. Flourishing context Yuki and US. Belief and practice blurs boundaries between high art and popular culture. Use of commercial image, repetition, comic style, bright colors. Artistic interpretation Warrell Campbell's soap cans. Repetition of everyday consumer goods, comments on mass reproduction and cultural consumption.